Okay, this is map 12. We're going to interpret the map first before drawing the cross section. Okay, looking at the map, there are several things that I can see initially. First off, we've got a large circular outcrop pattern in the centre with a metamorphic aureole around the outside, suggesting that we've got a large Pluton in the centre of the map. This discordant sheet-like body is likely to be a vertical dike, and from the age relationships we can see that the dike is younger than the igneous body. In the bottom right hand corner we can actually see that the igneous bodies are cut across by this boundary here, and these two layers have got the same outcrop pattern, they've got the same shape, and both of them are horizontal. It would suggest that this boundary, which is discordant across a lot of them, it truncates across these older layers, is an unconformity. Let's mark that on where it is on the map. Now, if we look at the rock that the igneous bodies are intruding into, we can see that there's a repetition of the layers. And if we look at the dip directions, the layers are dipping away from the layer in the centre, which is not repeated, this white layer here, which is rock unit F. It would suggest that the fold APT is within the centre, and it's being cut across by the igneous body, as I said earlier. Because the dips are moving away from the centre, tilted away from the centre, that this is an antiform. One last thing that we can grasp from the map, the angle that we're going to use for the cross section is 30 degrees because the dip direction is parallel to the line of section, so it is the true dip that we're going to represent on the cross section. And the fold axis, because we've got equal angles on either limb, will suggest that the fold axis is vertical or upright. Okay, I've transferred the information onto my strip of paper. The next task is determining which layer to put in first. So looking at the map, I can tell that the layers above the unconformity are the youngest features on the map. So I'm going to put those in first. Then I'm going to put the dike in. Then I'm going to put the Pluton in because both those features cut across the fold structure. And then I'm going to put the folded layers in afterwards. What I just spotted when I was doing the strip of paper is that this layer here is dolerite. Dolerite would suggest that we've got an intrusive feature, likely to be a sill because it's concordant to the beds on either side. However, I can't prove it because we haven't got information about the bait margins on either side. Okay, so we're going to start constructing the cross section now. I've worked out already that the unconformity is the youngest feature on the map because it cuts across everything else. I'm going to put the dike and then I'm going to put the Pluton in. Now, the unconformity is there and the other boundary is here. Both those boundaries are horizontal. We've got layer A and we've got layer D. Now, just notice that there's an issue with the map. If I continued the unconformity across the whole of the cross section, then this knobbly bit here, this positively eroded feature, should be A. However, if I look at my strip of paper, it would suggest that it should be the Pluton, which is this area here, and that's the one that's exposed at the surface. That would suggest that the map has got an error on it, and the Pluton should be younger than the unconformity, so it should continue round, and the dike should cut across all those features there. So I'm going to construct this as if this is wrong, this age relationship down here is wrong, and that the Pluton and the dike is the youngest feature on that particular map. So I'm going to mark in the Pluton. I'm going to mark in the dike as well. So we said that the dike is straight line on the map, so therefore it's vertical. And the scoop shape of the Pluton, the circular outcrop pattern, would suggest that this boundary is tilted towards Y. And this side is tilted towards X. So here's our Pluton. Also means I can continue the boundary from A across to show the cross-cut relationships. On the map. Okay, so I've done uniformity, the dike, the Pluton. I'm going to put the folded layers in next. Now, the folds axis will go through the middle of the Pluton, so I don't need to worry about marking that on the map, but I do need to put these other boundaries on. So I'm going to start on this side and then go over here. They're all tilted 30 degrees that way. They're going 30 degrees that way. They've been cut across by the uniformity, so I can continue up to that particular boundary. So this is layer C, layer B, and we've got the dolerite there, so I just put the symbol on. There's a dolerite again, there's layer B, and there's layer C. The layer in the middle is layer F. The fold axis will be down the middle, but I'm not going to draw it because it's been cut across by the Pluton. One last thing that I do need to put on, metamorphic oil. Is, let's mark that on. So I'm going to just use orange pen. So it got to there and got to there. Same angle as the igneous body. Now, because we said that the map is wrong in this particular area, we're going to take it all the way through to the top.